The Bamboo Project Podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. My name is DonivanGray, the future $10 billion man. On the way to 10 billion, I decided I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting the journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is DonivanGray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. I'd like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, you name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 400 videos on our channel. You want to learn real estate? We got that. You want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr.Sebi? We got that. Travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. You want makeup and hair growth tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. Turo? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that don't make it to YouTube will be on our story. You can find me on Instagram at DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, AnetaBurn, AnetaBurn. The Bamboo Project is about turning your life into a living by making money off the things you already do every day. We made different playlists for all the things we're into, and you can find all of those links in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 3, page 1, numero uno. This podcast has 4 different segments, okay? We have the life update, episode playback, Donovan's questions, and the topic of the day. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is March 23rd, which is Wednesday, and it is 11/11. So for everybody out there who's into angel numbers, right now it's 11/11. Now, I did a whole intro. My nose was itching me like crazy. Almost made it to the end without scratching it, but I had to get in there. So as y'all just heard, it is, I guess I'll get to that in the life update. So before we get to the life update, we always start off with screen time, because if I don't take advantage of my phone, then my phone will take advantage of me. So because I want to be a billionaire, I can't have that. So let's see how much time I spent on my phone last week. For last week, my average screen time was 7 hours and 34 minutes per day, which is down from the week before, which was 8 hours and 43 minutes. So he's slowly getting down to that preferred. I would prefer like 3 to 4 hours a day. Right now, obviously, I'm doubling that, so I have to make some more changes. So last week it was 7 hours and 34 minutes. My most used app was Instagram for the week, which was 10 hours and 32 minutes. Then it was YouTube for 9 hours and 40 minutes. And then it was Google Maps for 8 hours. Instagram should not be the top one on here, so I'm kind of curious how that ended up happening. This is last week. Yeah.
Sounds like you was on Instagram.
Excuse me?
Sounds like you were on Instagram.
I can't hear you. The mic's not working. The average amount of times I picked up my phone per day was 101 times. That's a problem. See, that went up. That's what I be saying. I should not be picking up my phone that often. So I'm wondering, was I posting on a story? I don't know why I was going on my Instagram so much. I don't even have any notifications from Instagram on my phone. The day I used my phone the most was Friday, which was 11 hours and 42 minutes. 3 hours was YouTube, 2 hours was Waze, and 1 hour and 45 was Instagram. So yeah, and then so far for this week, my screen time is 7 hours and 22 minutes. I was on my phone for 11 hours on Monday. Did you leave the house that day?
Monday. Yes.
Where'd you go? Oh, bro, I was on Instagram for 2 hours and 17 minutes. I feel like I was sleeping that day. Obviously, I was on my phone. Okay. Whew, that's bad. Okay, so now, what's your screen time look like?
My average is 6 hours and 42 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's up from the week before, up 40%.
What was it last week?
Last week was 4 hours and 47 minutes. My most used app was Google Maps for 12 hours. Second most used was Instagram for 10 hours. And then my third is music for 4.5 hours. My pickups are high though. I have 158 pickups average. My most pickups was on Sunday for 209.
Whew. All right, we are going into our next phase of life. This is chapter 3. We don't have a name for it yet. I don't know when the names come. They come before the craziness happens, during the craziness, or after the craziness. Maybe we should have a name for each phase, or each period in that phase. So right now, chapter 3, what do you want to call it, Melissa?
A shit show.
A shit show?
No, I think chapter 3, it's like, just hold on.
Hold on. Okay, that's a good one. I like that. Hold on.
Trying to get you to get there. I'm just trying to really get these roots. And the roots is coming out, but they're not deep enough in the ground yet.
Hi, this is Matt with Liberty Mutual Insurance. Is Donovan there?
Yeah, speaking. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Is now a good time to go over your claim?
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, so let's start off with what happened and what the damage to the car is, and from there we'll go over our next steps.
Okay, so my girlfriend Melissa was driving the car. She was at a stoplight and she got rear-ended by a Range Rover. We found out that the person driving the car is not the owner of the car, and I don't believe they're on the insurance. They told us we should just put hot water on it to fix the dent in the back of the door of the trunk. There's some scratches on the bumper as far as I know right now, and she offered to pay cash to fix the problem.
What'd you do? Did you call the police afterwards? What'd you do?
Yes, so we have a police report about it. So she ended up leaving after she gave us her phone number, her email. So we didn't get any information as far as the insurance goes because she's not the driver of the car. So I don't know if she knows where it was or she did not feel comfortable giving it to us, but we did not get that. We had the license plate number though.
And where's the damage in your car again?
On the rear bumper and the trunk door.
Rear bumper and front door?
Trunk.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that dented, crack, scratch, hey, what does that look like?
It's a dent and I believe some scratches on the bumper.
Is the door opening and closing fine? Any issues with that?
We haven't tried opening it yet.
And did you get any information for the police report at all?
Information as far as what?
Police report number or a piece of paper from the police officer?
Yes.
What'd you get? The piece of paper or the report number? What'd you get?
We have a piece of paper. It's called an incident information slip.
Yeah, so I'm gonna send you a text. Take a picture of that and text it over to me so I can start to get to work over here on that.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you a text inviting you to text with me. I need your permission to text you, so you need to text back the word yes, so I can't text you back.
Okay, got you. Question: if you guys pay for this, will my insurance go up?
So you have two options here, right? So you can file through your insurance policy. You're going to be not at fault. You will owe the deductible, but we'll look to go after the other insurance company afterwards to get your deductible paid back and everything else paid back. If we do that, your rates won't go up. Your other option is to file direct to the other driver's policy. Doing that would probably take a little bit longer to get the vehicle repaired, but you wouldn't have any money come out of your policy.
Okay, so what would make my insurance go up?
What would?
Yeah.
Your insurance goes up for two reasons: being at fault and money going out of the policy and not coming back in. So you're not at fault, so that's one. But if we don't have the information for the other driver to recover from their insurance company, we won't get the money back from their insurance company, so that comes back on a raised premium.
So even if they were at fault, that comes back a raised premium for me?
Yep. Money's going to come back in some way.
Okay. So yeah. Oh, you see one picture.
If you have their information, I can find their insurance company, file a claim with them. We can get that money back, or you can file directly through them.
Okay, and then if the person pays it themselves out of pocket, what is the process then? Nothing, just.
Nothing. That was just if you're comfortable with them paying out of pocket, you can always do so, and that wouldn't affect your policy in any way.
Okay, should I do that first before I go through this process, or I should continue with this process and then do that afterwards?
It is up to you. If you're comfortable and trust them to pay for everything, and they're willing to go to a shop you like, you can absolutely do that.
Okay, so yeah, I was gonna do that today because the accident happened yesterday.
So you're gonna try to go out of pocket?
Yeah, they were gonna. Yeah, out of their pocket. Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, if any work starts, like we can't then pick it up, right? So it means once you start doing work and they're gonna pay out of pocket, that's the deal, right? We can't jump in halfway through in a half-repaired vehicle, start doing the appraisals and start paying out. Just a heads up.
Okay, got you.
All right, so I can close down the claim here, but I still want you to send me that piece of paper.
All right.
That's just other information, so we can get it on file at least.
Okay, so this is the report that we have. Let me see. And then.
Awesome, I appreciate it. I will get that all in there, order the report, and get this thing going.
Okay, should I send you the driver license? Not the driver license, the license plate of the other car?
Yep, send me everything you got, and then any questions, you can always text me.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
All right, so we'll come back to that later in the podcast. What I wanted to start off with is this. Everybody who's been there for chapter 2 knows the plan obviously was to refinance the house. The reason being is so that we can move to move to Atlanta and have a great life in Atlanta as two black prospering young black individuals, right? That is the plan. That was the plan. We were planning to do Airbnb when we got down there, possibly, get like 30-40 cars for Turo, buy a bunch of houses, do some wholesaling, start up all the other projects that we have planned, and kind of just flourish in Atlanta. That was what we had in our mind to do. At no point in this process did we ever think that we would not go to Atlanta. Well, we probably thought we might go to some other places, but at every step we thought we were leaving New York. At no point did we think we would start making the money that we're making now here in New York. So it's starting to put kind of a wrench in what the plans were. So for the first time in the last week, for the whole of, I guess, last year, Melissa and I have been considering the idea of not going to Atlanta when the house is refinanced. So, this might come as a shock to a lot of people. Some people, a lot of people hit me up and say, hey, you coming to Atlanta? We're going to meet up. We're going to do this and do that. We're going to hang out. We're going to do this. That's been the plan. And as y'all know, we're tired of New York with all of the original issue was the whole COVID laws and the mask and the vaccines and all of that. You can't do Turo here. You can't do Airbnb here. At the time, we couldn't really run any business because of the laws. So, our kind of businesses. So we were just like, you know what? I'm tired of it. And then also you have real estate prices. We live in a studio apartment, which is probably like 300 square feet, 400 square feet, something like that. And we pay about $1,700 in rent. Well, that's the cost of the apartment. We have not paid rent because of COVID and, loss of job and things like that. So that is the cost of rent. And it's actually going up for a studio apartment. So we went to Atlanta last year. We're like, you know what? We found some nice places, some 2-bedrooms for like $2,200, $2,400. They look immaculate. They have the down payment for the houses are like $200 for the apartments, as opposed to up here, we got to give 1 month of rent. Then the amenities down there are free. It's just a lot. The amenities are actually better than the ones up here. It's a lot. The people that live in the buildings are black, which is also a plus. So it was a lot of good things. So Melissa started, getting into candle making like last August, and things have been going pretty well. She started learning how to do it in August. I guess started selling them in November. And then our first craft fair was in January. The first day, my mom and her brother did it. They made like $400. Then the second day they did it in the rain, they made like $500 in a day. And we're like, yo, this is crazy. So we said, okay, you know what? We don't know. Like, it could have been a fluke. Let's see what happens. So Melissa and I go to do a craft fair outside in the Upper West Side. During that craft fair, it was windy. It was freezing outside. We're like, nobody's going to come here. It's going to be a slow day. This is terrible. Like, but let's just see what happens. And at this point, we have never sold the candles ourselves. It just was my mom and her brother. That day, just kind of winging it, we made $828 in a day. So we're just like, wait, what the fuck is happening? Like, what is happening right now? For the first weekend, first day we made $400, then we made $500, then we made $828 in a day, and we're just like, this is insane. Now some people are starting to buy more online, and we're like, what is going on? Like, this is greater than we expected it to be. So after that, we did another craft fair. This one was where both her brothers were doing it, and then it was like a storm that day. So that day they sold like 4 candles. I think they made like $60 or $90, something like that. And then the second day, which I talked about on the podcast last week, I believe, was when it was me, my mother, and a friend from playing basketball. Shout out to Javon. And that day, like the first hour, we made like $200 and maybe like $220, $240, something to that, like that. It was just craziness. And then for the whole day, we made like $660 for that day, right? I was in there sometimes. My mom left, I left, Javon left. We were kind of swapping it out because, again, we're just trying to learn the process of what's going on. We're still kind of new to this. So then last weekend we had another craft fair, and this one was predominantly Melissa and I. Both of us, only there, no one else. So we're like, okay, this is our best day. This is our best time because it's gonna be nice out. It's gonna be both of us, and since the brand is ours, like, okay, we're gonna put energy into it more than somebody else will because we're both there and we have a reason to. Like, we need the money, and things like that, and we know more about the candles than people who are selling it. So the first day we went out there, we sold candles on a Saturday. It was nice out. The first day we did $848 the first day inside, right, on a semi busy day. And we're just like, yo, this is insane. Like, we just made another $800 in one day. And honestly, there were certain times of the day we were just exhausted. Like, yo, we're just tired. Like, my head is on the table. I'm just like, bro, this is like really exhausting. The reason I'm saying that is because if we had more energy, we could have probably sold more candles. And if we had more candles, because we also ran out of popular candles that people liked. So we could have got a lot closer to $1,000 in one day. And it's just a crazy thing to think about, that we can make $1,000 in a day selling candles from 11 to 6. And even that day, we didn't really eat throughout that process. So we didn't have food to keep us energized. We were just exhausted. Our feet were hurting. We were standing. We were just like, yo, we're going to keep going, try to get through it. So after like the first, obviously, 4 or 5 hours, we're just like, okay, we got to make it to the end. We got to make it to the last hour. We're almost done. So we're still, we're doing our thing. We're selling the candles. Everything's going great. So at the end of the day, we made like $845. And we're just in the car just like, yo, this is really crazy. So like, okay, well, let's see what happens tomorrow, because we had a 2-day craft fair. So we go back again the second day, and the crowd is a bit different than it was the first day. It's an older crowd. They were more of the I don't want to say because they were all the same complexion, if you get what I'm saying. But these were the type of, in the beginning at least, I would say that the crowd that came in were so if you would imagine a kind of person that owned slaves, just that's the kind of vibe we were getting from the people that came in the second day, where it was like they would see us and avert their eyes. They would see us and like go around the other table. They would like act like they didn't hear us. It was a very awkward day. Like we don't, it could have been us, because, you know, I know people love to say, well, what were you guys wearing? What you guys look like? How were you guys standing? You know, that's a common thing people love to say, you know, when they come from that world. They feel like, well, there's no way that it could be them. It has to be you, which is, listen, I understand that type of mindset. I get it. So for that reason, because I know people of that, because I remember one time I told this guy that owns a dog food delivery company, right? And I was explaining to him how my friend and I had just went to what are those places called? A WeWork. And we called and they say, yeah, we have a lot of spaces for you guys, you know, just come over and just, you know, do a walkthrough, see what you guys like. So I go, okay, cool. So someone paid for an Uber for us to go over there, and we're like, this is amazing, this is great. So we get in the Uber, we go to the other WeWork, we get inside, talk to the people, and now they have no spots left. And we're like, we just called you guys 20 minutes before you told us to come over here because of this reason. And they're like, well, we don't have no spots. And we were just kind of like, nah, there's no way I don't have. We just talked to you on the phone. So then we started getting a very weird vibe from the guy we were there with. And I remember talking to this food dog delivery owner. I went to his house to kind of talk about business and things like that. I think he wanted me to help him deliver some of the food. And I was telling him what happened. He was like, well, what were you wearing? It could have been what you were wearing. And I'm like, see, that's a problem, because the richest people aren't wearing the nicest things. That's number one. So you don't see people with a lot of money wearing suits all the time. They're not wearing, you know, Balenciaga pants and a Miri G. They're not doing that. They wear expensive clothing, but it's not name brand. It's a regular. They definitely not match with their sneakers. They just throw some regular sneakers on, some Converse or whatever, some regular pants. Maybe they're expensive, you can't tell, and a nice fitted shirt. That's about it. So I know I had dressed up more than that when I went there. Was I wearing a suit? No. Was I wearing a hoodie over my head with a mask on my face with glasses on too? No, wasn't wearing that. So for him to ask me that question, just one of those things that for people who are out there, just remember that, you know, it's possible that it could be that, but sometimes it's usually not. More times, often than not, it's not that. But either way, I just bring that up to say, I remember these things. So I had brought me, you know, I call it my, what I give a name to it? I'm going to call it my white people sweater. Okay. I brought that out just in case, because I'm like, listen, I know I'd like to get down. They feel like sometimes when you at work, you should be looking like you at work. You shouldn't be comfortable. You shouldn't look like you enjoying yourself. You should look like you are at work to serve me. I get it. So I have my cardigan with the nice little buttons on it, whatnot, right? So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to the car. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna throw it on real quick, just to add a little different vibe to the environment. So I don't know if it worked or not. Have no idea. Can't even tell you. But I threw it on just in case. And mind you, I had my regular long coat on, my long wool coat from Gap, just regular clothing. So this day we are doing a lot less than we did last week and the day before. So we're like, okay, we're starting to get kind of humbled. We're thinking, okay, so, you know, we kind of have a range of what we could do for sales. So probably about let me take a check for you guys. I want to see how much we had made by, let's say, 1 o'clock. Okay. So the first hour we made $15. The next hour we made $62. The next hour we made $115. Then the next hour we made $110. And then the hour after that we made $145. How do we make? Oh, that's from the week before. Okay, that makes more sense. All right, so yeah, that's how much we were making per hour that day. All right, so we had made for that day in total, we made $537 in the day that I felt like was kind of a very slow day. Now imagine that. A day that we feel like is not our best day, we made $537. On a day that we felt like we could have worked a little bit harder and pushed a little bit more, we made $845. So combined, we made about $1,300 to $1,400 in 2 days, right? Now, this number of 1,400 and 1,500 always sticks in my head because as a bike messenger, my goal was to always hit $1,500 per week. And that was me working about 6 days a week from, for about 10 hours or so every day. I'm like, if I could make $200 a day, I could make $1,400 for the week. And that equates to $75K for the year. And I'm like, that's a very respectable number. Between that and if I do 200 days, $200 a day for 5 days, that brings me to $1,000 for the day, for the week. So I'm like, okay, between 50K and 75K is not a bad amount of money to make as a bike messenger. So instantly, I already know that $1,500 every week for the year is 75K. So it's 75K. So we just pretty much hit that number in 2 days, working from 11 to 6. So let's see. I think we did what's the exact number we did?
6 hours. It's not even a full work day.
It's not even a full work day. And we can go eat if we want to. We can be on the phone if we want to.
Take turns.
Right. Take turns, chilling. So we made $1,382 that day. Well, $1,367. So $1,367 times 52 is $71,000, right? And that's us working 2 days out the week, and we are selling candles from 11 to 6 o'clock. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. So this is why I was talking about earlier. So Melissa and I had this conversation, right, where it now has come to our mind that it's possible for us not to leave New York because, well, this is a conversation that we're having because of the money that we're making right now, how quickly we're making it, and we haven't even scaled the company at all, really. Well, we're kind of starting to scale it, but it hasn't really gotten to a scale, in my opinion. So if we're doing $1,300 a week, we can probably get that up to about $2,000 a week if we add extra craft fare in there. So we're talking about 6 figures for the year, only working 2-3 days a week, something like that.
And that doesn't include converting to online sales.
Right. This is literally just us doing craft fare. It's not online sales. And like I said, we want to scale, so we want to put it in stores and things like that. So this is easily starting to get to 100K business in terms of projections. I mean, let me not, because that's what it is, a projection. So we're like, well, this is what was happening. Melissa feels like we should. She's not comfortable with going to Atlanta because of the money that we were making here. And do you want to explain your side?
Sure.
Okay.
It's like, if you say we're going Google, I won't be opposed to it because I can also sell candles in Atlanta. I just don't know if it would be the same either demographic or the same, I don't even say demographic, but just the same money that we make selling there.
Well, tell me all your reservations that you have. They want to hear your reservations about.
A reservation?
Yes, about.
Because I know a lot of it is going to be outdoors. I like doing the indoor craft fairs, and it works better from the design and for the experience that I want to give to the customers. But that can also be fixed as well. I can also design
Reservations only.
Reservations only?
Yes.
Okay, fine, sure. So there's that. I'm just not sure of how it'll sell. That's my main thing. I'm not sure of how it'll sell. And the place that I sell at now, they have a indoor market in Atlanta as well. It's supposed to open up in the spring. We in spring now, and I'm not sure if it's opened. I would see it on the same place that I signed up on. I haven't seen anything. So that's another thing that makes me kind of anxious because of that reason. So it's just like, what if it doesn't make the same amount of money, or what if I lose traction by moving? That's all you want to hear, right? Just the reservations. That's it.
Yes.
So can I say the other?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So these are reservations that Melissa and I have talked about as far as whether or not, just comparing and contrasting us staying here and us moving to Atlanta. So like I said, we've had a lot of different conversations about it. I'm going to say my piece after Melissa gives her other side of her reservations, the other side of it.
The other side? Because it's like, it's more of a fear of unknown and then pessimism. So it's like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen, and things are going so well right now that they may not go as well down there. But the other side of it is that things could go better down there. Like, I could either make the same amount or even more money than I'm making now down there. And honestly, we're in a position that we need the money. At the time where we would be living in Atlanta, we should have sold the house already, so we shouldn't need money anymore. So that means that I don't need the candles to do as well. It won't be our main source of income. So it's kind of like it's not really necessary. I think for me personally, what I would like to happen would be for us to kind of stay for the summer and really reap in the benefits of selling the candles here. And then once it get cold out and we had a little money stack, we can go ahead and go to town that way. But it doesn't really matter to me either way.
Okay, so these are conversations that we had because my assumption or my thought process was that it was Atlanta no matter. As soon as the house is done, we're going to Atlanta. So this is my first time hearing Melissa have reservations about actually going to Atlanta. So, as you know, we talked back and forth about it, and we haven't come to a definitive answer yet. The difference now, and kind of why I'm bringing it up, is because it was never really a thought that we had of us being like, okay, we're not gonna go, like we're not gonna leave as soon as the house is finished. Like that was never. It was like fix the house, either sell it or put it on Airbnb and then move. That was it. So there is a small possibility that we would be living here for an extended period of time, which then brings into question a whole bunch of other problems to be solved. So one of them would be, okay, we currently owe back rent of probably like $7,000 now because, like on a month to month because we haven't paid rent and the lease expired. So we owed $5,000. Our lease ended in February, so now we probably owe February, maybe like say close to like $6,000, something like that. So we'd have to probably pay that back if we wanted to move, because we do need more space. Like the studio, we are outgrowing the studio. We are getting bigger. The cats are getting bigger. The stuff we have is getting bigger. We're getting more stuff because we're doing more things. So we are just starting to outgrow the space, and we need a place for us to both work. Yeah, that's more or less one of the bigger drivers of whether or what we would do if we decide to stay here, because then we have to get another apartment. So it's like, do we pay off the rent? If we're paying off the rent, we would have to drop like $6,000-7,000. And if we do that, which we don't have, then we would have to find somewhere else. We don't have income, so we don't have reported income, because right now we haven't reported because we just started making it like the last 2 months. And even if we did report it, it wouldn't be enough for another building to go, oh, you guys make a good amount of money, come here, you can stay here. So that becomes another issue. Is if we decide we do want to move, we would have to be able to show proof that we have money to pay the rent, which we don't have. So that was another problem. So we'd have to possibly stay here in this studio apartment for another 5 or 6 months. With cats, it's starting to get hot, so the hair and the fur starting to fly around everywhere, just those kind of things. However, again, as we said earlier, if we do stay, it's possible we could be doing, maybe like $8,000 a month or $2,000, $10,000 a month, something like that. because we decided we're going to try and ramp up the craft fair. So this weekend we have 2 craft fairs. I don't even know if it's called a craft fair. One of them is the same craft fair we did last week, and then we were invited to is this opening of the store?
It might be.
It's like a store opening. They wanted to bring in a brand to put into the store for their opening in the Upper West Side, and they invited Ember Candles. So we're like, okay, so we're gonna go up there. So while we're over there, some friends and family will be able to do the other craft fair in Brooklyn while we're doing that one, and then we'll come back on Sunday to do the one in Brooklyn. So that's what this weekend is like. We also finally have gotten the candles into a store in Brooklyn. Shout out to the Grand Rue Market. You can go check out the Grand Rue Market. That's GRANRU. Yeah. And they have the candles in the store. So that's one store. We still have 2 other stores in mind that we're trying to get it into. We have to talk to them again about it. But again, and this is not including online sales or any other craft fairs we could find a way to add to the schedule. So it's a possibility we could probably get up to, like, I think 10 would be tough, only because I think if we get to 10,000 a month, that would be us getting multiple online sales, because I think doing the craft fair every weekend would be tiring, and we would have to be doing like 2,000 a week to get to that. And if not, we'd have to do at least 2 craft fairs a weekend, or we would have to if we can do 2 craft fairs a weekend, we would have to make $2,000 or $1,000 a day at the craft fair each day, which is, I think that's a stretch to do consistently throughout the week, throughout the month, and then month by month. But with online sales and store sales, I think that's how we would get to $10,000 a month. So that's why we want to try and get more distribution of the product, so that it's more available to more people, and then that way the return buyers can buy it online. That's kind of what we're trying to do. And that is why it's like, and we can get to 10K a month. Should we just up and leave and run to Atlanta if we're making 10K a month? But if the house gets sold, then we could possibly net 90K after the house is sold. So it's like, that's what Melissa was talking about, where if we sell the house, then we don't necessarily need the candle money when we get down there. So the candle money will be a bonus to whatever we're doing, as far as it be Airbnb, Turo, or the money that we already have saved up from the selling the house. And then the other option, like you guys already know, if we put the house or turn it into a Airbnb in Philly, that could bring in a couple $1,000s a month. And I didn't tell you this, I just saw this recently. So they put a hold on the Philadelphia Airbnb ban.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So,
are you serious?
Yes.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious. Very serious. Mm-hmm. So we could have had 3 units already.
Oh, I know people. I know how they move, and I know that this is something that is 100% coming down the pipe. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what we were told. So I saw that on the Facebook group. They delayed it. So it's just kind of like, it's a possibility that we could still get a Airbnb legal. Like it would be completely legal as far as it going or whatever.
You want to text or like, hey,
bro, listen. And I'm like, did we end on a bad note? I don't feel like we did.
not really, no.
So I'm like, listen, I'm like, hey, bro, and now we'll have the money. Now we'll go there. Now we'll really have the money to get some units, some legitimate units. So I'm just, let's not even get into that. But that's just something that came the other day. So this is chapter 3. I didn't give my name for it. I think I'm going to call it, my initial name for it will be called The Bridge. Mm-hmm.
I like that.
That's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it The Bridge because I feel like we built everything up to this point, and now we're crossing over to what would possibly be, the first sprout of the bamboo project, where you guys see a little what they call them, little things, babe? The little like.
Yeah, it's like a sprout.
That's what it's called? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's called a sprout. Shout out to, I forgot who it was. That might be the logo. I'm not gonna lie. I might have to use a sprout as the logo for the bamboo project. But like a special looking sprout with a bamboo tree. I don't know, but I liked it. There's a sprout emoji that I saw somebody use. Let's see what his name was. Yeah, I can't find where it was, the comment, but either way, the person that used a like a little sprout, the sprout emoji, and referring to the Bamboo project. And I'm like, I like that. I like the way that looks as a logo. So that's something I would consider using. But yeah, I think that's where we are, right? That's where we are in terms of just kind of like I said, I call it the bridge. So if y'all ever seen the video called the What is the Bamboo Project on our page on YouTube, it kind of just explains, like, you know, just us going from not being known to not having anything to being, you know, showing everything we're doing to get to that point of having something. And then, you know, people will be like, where'd y'all even come from? How'd y'all just all of a sudden become, you know, y'all seen everywhere? So how'd y'all do that? This will be, you know, this is us getting to that point. I think next year will be the point where it really like starts to blow up if everything this year goes as planned. So I'm gonna keep it updated on that. Now, as far as life update goes, got a couple more things that happened this week. So recently people have been letting me know that I shouldn't be flushing paper towels down the toilet, and that's keeping plumbers in business, and that is not a good idea to do, and the bad repercussion of doing so. Right now, I want to say that since the last podcast, I probably only flushed 2 down the toilet. It's a lot less than I was doing before, and I think it's a step in the right direction. Now, funny enough, when I was reading about the plumbing situation that happened in the house of Philly, one of the things they said that happens if you were to flush non-flushable. Oh, the guy said, you saw that about the flushable wipes?
Yeah.
Might have to get some flushable wipes.
We do have. Those are flushable.
So why are you complaining about flushing them down the toilet?
You said paper towel.
And baby wipes.
These are flushable.
Have you ever had non-flushable baby wipes?
Yes.
In this house?
No.
Okay then. So what?
I never told you not to flush the wipes.
I'm flushing everything. Everything's getting flushed. If it's a piece of paper, it's getting flushed. So loose leaf, copy paper.
And then they say that flushable wipes, you probably still shouldn't flush them because they don't break down as fast, but they will break down eventually.
I need to hire somebody to just who could just.
Or you could just use a toilet paper.
I am using that.
Yes, you can still flush those wipes.
Paper towels. So okay. So in the video I was watching and learning about paper towels not being flushed and other things that should not be flushed, they said, this could be, I'm pretty sure this is what I remember seeing, that sewage issues cause a buildup of pressure, and the buildup of pressure causes manhole covers to blow because of all of that built up pressure underneath the street. So the other day, yesterday, I was in the house in the morning in the bed. Melissa was asleep in the bed, and we heard a huge explosion. Right now, as the explosion happened, I was thinking to myself, like, damn, that's crazy, because that sounded like, I've never heard an explosion. Like, I've heard like firecrackers, you know, I might have heard like an explosion, but I feel like this was like someone set off a bomb type of explosion. Like, that's what this felt like. So I went to look out the window because it sounded really close. So I look out the window, people are like running towards it, some running away from it. There's smoke coming out the air. So we didn't really know what was going on. We just knew we heard some crazy explosion. So Melissa downloaded the Citizen app, which I recommend everybody to never download. I think it's a terrible app. I think no one should have the app on their phone. The reason why I say that is because all it does is induce anxiety. It don't show nothing positive. I don't never see nobody on there talking about somebody's handing out flowers on 3rd Avenue. Oh, you can get a free meal over here. No, it's John got stabbed on 1st Street. This lady got raped on 6th Avenue. Oh, there's an explosion on Alvis. It's just every single notification is negative. And it's like, I don't have the app. So these things are happening around regardless of whether I know about them or not. So you telling me about them is not going to stop it. Like, here's my thing too, right? How many people have a Citizen app and go, oh shit, there's a robbery on 4th Avenue. Now, 2 things, right? Are you going to go stop the robbery, or do you think the robber is going to rob that place and come rob you too? So now you're going to go, you know what? I see a robbery happen outside. I'm going to stay in my house now. Probably not. You're probably not gonna do that. And then if there is a fire, let's just say this, right? I used to live in the Bronx where they have houses that are connected to each other. If the house on the end of my house catches on fire, my neighbors are probably gonna tell me house is on fire. I'm gonna hear the ambulance and the fire trucks, right? Or I might smell and see the fire. I don't need to check my phone to go, there's a fire on my block. Damn, I didn't know. Thank you for the Citizen app. It's probably not gonna happen. So in my opinion, I don't really know what the purpose of the Citizen app is, other than 1, to be nosy, and 2, to increase your anxiety. That's just my opinion. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I thought it would be very funny if the reason why this manhole cover, it wasn't even a manhole cover from what I saw from the Citizen app, what Melissa told me about, blew up, was because someone, not saying it was me,
Donovan.
Someone in the area,
Donovan.
probably on that street specifically, was flushing paper towels down the toilet when they shouldn't be doing that. All right, they shouldn't do that. They should watch the Bamboo Project podcast and know you should never flush paper towels down the toilet. It's bad business. Unless you're a plumber, then it's great business.
You do that at your dad's house?
I don't know.
Yeah, when you started doing this.
You know what's crazy? You know why? I'm gonna tell you what happened. No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No. Here's why. I blame Gideon, DeMarcus Cousins III. I blame him. The reason why I blame him is because, if y'all don't know, he's a YouTuber that, kind of came out recently. Not recent, but he's pretty big. Shout out to him. I think he's like the Black Mr. Well, I'm gonna call him Black Mr. Beast, but I think he is as great as Mr. Beast is at making content. So he said, like, you should not, he don't like to use dry paper towel or dry toilet tissue to wipe his butt in the bathroom, right? And all my life I've always used dry toilet tissue, right? But if you wet it, I don't know if y'all know, it disintegrates. It don't really have that sturdiness to it you need to wipe, So I'm like, as a thinker I am, I said, well, if I can find something sturdier and I can wet it, I can use that to wipe, and I'll do that. And that is what started the use of paper towels, because normally...
Listen, you know what? I'm happy that you went through this phase and figured this out before we get our own. Because I would be highly upset if I can use the bathroom and sewage is coming out the shower because you in this house discovered paper towels. Because I'm like, how has this not been happening before? Like, I have to ask Miss Joyce and everyone, like, hey, how's your plumbing system living with Donovan?
So up to this point, I've only used paper towels to dry my hands, and most recently I've been using it to wipe the certain areas. So I will probably not do that when I move and get our own place, but because here's my thing, if people who know me know how I am, if you tell me not to do something, I'm probably gonna do that thing. That's just my personality. Because I'm like, are you saying that I can't do it? Is that what you're saying? Because I could flush it right now. I can show you. Watch this. It just goes down the toilet. It's gonna flush. So you can't tell me I can't do this. Now, if you say, well, Donovan, it's not the best idea, that's a different conversation. I could go, maybe it's not the best idea. And then if you have to say to me, hey, Donovan, what would be a better idea? I would say, a better idea would be to get flushable, thick toilet tissue. And then you would go, see? So we should do that because it's a better idea. Do you want to do the least best idea? I would probably say no. See, I'm giving y'all the secret to my brain so y'all can know how to converse with me. That's how it works. You're going to have to give me the reasons why I shouldn't do it compared to reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing, and let me figure out which one is better. That's it. That's all I'm saying. So secret note for all of y'all and you as my girlfriend.
It's wild, and I think it's so funny that we're so drastically different when it comes to these type of things.
Why is that wild? We are drastically different on like everything.
I know, but it's hilarious.
Except one thing.
I'm like, I'm. This whole conversation came about because of the paper towel that was in the pot, and you have put it in the toilet, and I was like, did you put that in the toilet?
No, that's not what happened. In the pot? No, that's not what happened.
What happened? How did it get there?
It was just a regular paper towel from the bathroom. It's not from a pot.
You just threw it.
Yeah. It just.
He just threw it in that left.
Yeah.
Okay, well, either way.
It didn't. Yeah, probably. I thought it flushed, but yeah, probably.
Right. So I was freaking out because I'm like, oh my god, now I have to put on gloves to take the paper towel out. Why would you do that? Right. Because I'm gonna get you to do it because you the one that put it in there.
Definitely was not gonna get me to do it. Was not gonna do it at all.
Because I'm like, prior to me knowing that you do this, it wasn't even a thought in my mind to flush paper towel down. Not even a thought.
You should try. You should try it one day. It might make you feel invigorated. Make you feel powerful.
I thought the toilet would break in half instantly or something like that.
See, and we've been doing this for a little while now. You know, so it's fine.
That's probably why our sink is clogged.
That's probably what I think that is really. I don't think it's that. I think it's hair.
Yes, I think so too. I think it's hair and nail clippings.
Oh my god!
Those are both made out of the same substance, which is keratin. So it doesn't dissolve easily in the pipes.
Okay, scientists. Now all of a sudden you a chemicals biologist and you just know what chemicals break down in the water.
Because he be flushing his nails and his beard hair down the drain all the
Where's it supposed to go, Melissa? Where's it supposed to go? On the floor? What kind of savage?
When you're done.
That's like a savage.
And I saw something on TikTok. You can put a piece of paper, since you love paper towel. You can put a piece of paper towel in the sink. And that way, you can just pick it up.
And then I flush that in the toilet. And I flush that one down the toilet. That's not a good idea. I might have to try that. The flushing part, not the other part. Listen. Nobody told me plumbing in school. I blame the school system. If they would have told me as a kid, that's why I should have took one of them. Them trade classes where they were like, listen, this is how plumbing works. You know what I learned in school? I bet you if you gave me a shape, I could tell you the three sides of it. I could tell you that. But you want me to figure out what a plumbing, what should be flushed and not flushed? Listen, that's too much. I didn't learn that. I'm not smart enough to know that.
Hair and nails is resilient.
It might be hair. I'm pretty sure it's hair thing. I've cut my beard and shit, and I cut my beard hair in the sink all the time. Just rinse it out.
I know you
just rinse it. Because you know what's crazy? So one time, right? Not one time, but multiple times. I go in the shower. And my girlfriend be putting her hair on the wall, right? I thought she was crazy. I'm like, I would go in the bathroom, like, Melissa, you don't see this shit on the wall? So I would just take the water thing and flush it down and put it down the drain. I'm like, obviously you forgot that this hair was here, so I need to rinse it down the tub to get it off the wall. It don't belong on the wall. I'm thinking it fell off. I'm not thinking you took it out your hair and put it on. I'm like, why would a person purposefully take hair and put it on the wall? That's craziness. So I just rinsed it down the tub. So listen, I don't know. I guess that's, people shouldn't do that or whatever.
Listen.
So that's what y'all want to do. Listen, whatever y'all do, y'all do what y'all do. So okay. So there's that. Let's see, a couple things happened this week. So update on the house in Philly. We got siding on it, so we getting close to finishing. I'm gonna put pictures up here. You can see what the house looks like. If you have me on Instagram, y'all would have already seen it. It looks immaculate. It looks beautiful. It's like chef's kiss. It's amazing. I'm like, this is where the house that we've been struggling to get finished. It's close. So next, he said they're gonna do some concrete work in the back. Then they are also going to start putting in the flooring. They're gonna start putting in the kitchen cabinets. He said the doors and the trims. That's the exact words that he used, was doors and trim. So now you're gonna start seeing the house looking like a house. We already got the drywalls already done. We already got the paint's gonna be coming, probably not next, but either way, the finishes are coming. I feel like what's the movie? What's that guy from the England time? What did he be saying? The one with who was riding on a horse. He's like, the finishes are coming. The finishes are coming. That's what I feel like right now. I feel like him. What's his name? Melissa Sotomayor. Oh yeah. What did you say? Yeah, that one.
What did you say?
Mm-hmm. What did you say? That one. So that one, is getting closer and closer to being done. Like I said, we have not crossed the finish line yet, but we are right on the heels of it. Right at the front door. We're at the front door of it. Okay, so there's that. My lawyer, who was supposed to be writing up the contract for the wholesale deal here in New York. Listen, if anybody wants to buy a house in New York, like I said, down payment of $50K, the house is worth like $800K, like $750, $800. It's a seller financing deal. If you were to buy it from a bank, you have to put down 20%, which would be like $160K. So like I said, I haven't put on my Instagram yet because I don't know if anybody wants to do it. I was wondering, right? Like if people I knew, like I grew up with, or people that just kind of have some money, but not like rich people who are just starting out, getting their life together. If like 20 people put together $3,000, we could all buy that house. And it's like, we wouldn't really get a lot of money from it in a sense of, because, we all put 3K up, so that wouldn't be a lot. But I just think it would be cool to be able to take down the house. Like, okay, we got this house. And then we could like do it again. Because what's going to happen is, I don't want to get too deep into the numbers and details and stuff like that. But when it's refinanced, the 3K, let's say okay, I'm going to get some real quick numbers. So let's see. We probably have like roughly 250K of equity or more when in the refinance in 7 years, right? So let's say we got 250 divided by what's that? Divided by 20 people put in 3K, divided by 20. So everybody would get back 12.5, and you'd also own the house, and whatever couple dollars you would make per month from the house, you would get throughout the 7 years. But my mindset is not about that house, because obviously you're not going to get rich off buying one house. But it would be the fact that we could all buy a bunch of houses with the money, so it's something I was thinking about. It'd be really cool to do. But I would like to take it down myself and keep it if I could, because I'll just keep the 250 myself and get to keep 250. Like, that's amazing. But yeah, man, that's oh yeah, so the lawyer, man, he been dragging his feet for like 3 weeks. It's just kind of stressful. It's not stressful, it's annoying, because I feel like I've been getting little signals that he doesn't respect the process of what is happening. And every time I tell him something, I'm like, hey, this is how it's been done by other people. This is what I'm trying to do. He'll like snicker and be like, oh, you think that's gonna work? Why would that happen? People don't do that. I'm just like, oh, okay. So I had asked him to write a contract up like 2 weeks ago. I have just got the contract back yesterday. I have to read it. And each time he said, I'm gonna send it to you today, he didn't send it. The next day he said, I'm gonna send it to you, I didn't get it. And then I don't hear from him for like 4 or 5 days. It's annoying. So this whole time I have not actually talked to the seller of the house that the contract is for. So that's just annoying. So that is the update on that. And then the reason why we're shooting a podcast today on a Wednesday as opposed to a Tuesday is because yesterday Melissa got rear-ended at a stoplight, and that is a whole nother situation that's going on right now. I'm probably put at the end of this video like one of the recorded phone calls I have with her, because it's a very interesting. I wish I recorded a second phone call. Melissa is sitting at a red light. Actually, you know what? I think it's better if you explain the story, because you were there, and you could. I think it's better if you say it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I was driving. It was a red light, so you slow down, stop at the red light, and honestly, yeah, whatever. Honestly, that light is kind of weird. It kind of comes up closer than you think. So I actually had to like press really hard on my brakes to stop at the crosswalk properly. But I did it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there waiting for the light to change and turn green, and I feel a thump, in the back, a crash.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, in the back of the car. It was like a thump, like the car moved and everything. I'm like, damn, shit. And I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm anxious. I get anxious very easily. So in situations like this, I'm kind of freaking out. But either way, she hit the back of the car. I get out to see the damage. She's still behind me. I kind of record the damage, and that's pretty much what happened. She hit the trunk door and probably scratched the bumper of the car. Yeah, that's what happened. Want me to say more than that?
Your storytelling skills, babe.
I know that it's.
I don't know what that was. Okay, so there was no beginning, there was no middle, there was no end. It was just a bunch of 1A, 1B.
I'll try again.
Okay, let's see. Try again. So start from the beginning. What?
From the beginning. Yeah, I know. So I went outside because.
I'm listening.
I went to go buy candle stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the store that I went to didn't have what I wanted, so now I'm heading to another store to get the things that I need. As I'm driving, I come across a red light. I, hit my brakes, stop at the light. I'm waiting for the light to change. While I'm waiting for the light to change, another car hits into my bumper, the Range Rover. I come outside to see the damage.
How are you now? This way you give how you're feeling when this happens.
Okay, yeah. So the car hits the back of my car. I'm freaking out.
Okay.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do. I don't think I left the car immediately. I think the first thing I did was call Donovan because I didn't know what to do.
That's right.
Didn't pick up the phone. So
how you feel when I pick up the phone?
I felt anxious. I'm like, I gotta call somebody else.
Okay.
So I called. I think the second person I called was Neffy. Neffy didn't pick up the phone either. So I'm like, okay.
Okay. Take a pause.
And then I called the next person on the list, which is Donovan's mom. So I called his mom.
Pause.
She didn't pick up.
There you go.
Then I called my mom. And she finally picked up.
Okay.
So I finally was on the phone with someone. She told me to call the police, everything like that. So I'm like, okay. So, and then the girl behind me, everyone's honking and mad, by the way.
Okay.
I'm still in the lane.
Okay. Right.
So,
Paint the picture. Okay.
So everyone's honking, mad. The girl's like, you should pull over. But the thing is, it's kind of weird because I'm at the far left lane. If I pull over, because it's like almost, this road would put you onto a highway. So if I'm in the far left lane, that means I have to cross over 2 lanes to get to the sidewalk. And I'm at the stoplight. And I'm not trying to go that far. So I'm like, how y'all want me to do this? Because I can't. The only time where you have the opportunity to cross over 2 lanes is when it's a red light. So it's like, I can't really do that. So I pretty much had asked the people to like let me go over. And they let me go over. She followed.
Oh, stop. Okay. So you about to start doing the 1A thing. So you got over to the side.
Yeah, I got
and
over
then
to
what
the
happened?
side. We were able to talk.
Okay, how'd that go? How were you feeling? What was she feeling? What you see about her? Describe her. What kind of person was she?
Like I said, I was feeling very anxious. I didn't really know how to go about everything.
Why are you anxious? Can you explain that too?
Because, I didn't know if I was supposed to move the car. That's it. So now I had to move the car over. I'm like, damn, did I do something wrong? But I did take a video, kind of. I should have took a better one, honestly. But I took enough of the video to see how things were when the crash initially happened.
See, you went off. As soon as you tried to correct yourself about the video you took, you started going off, and that's it. It's irrelevant to the story.
I took the video, and after that, damn.
See, that's what happened.
Damn, we were on the side. Yes, I was anxious. She was talking a lot, talking very fast.
How'd you feel about that?
It made me feel like she was trying to kind of either talk her way out of it or like, cause she, I'm your friend. I'm telling you this as a friend. I'm telling you this as a.
Because I'm leaving next week, I'm not from here. I'm from Israel.
Yeah.
I'm visiting, and I'm super sorry for that uncomfortable situation. I think it's gonna last like more than a week to fix it with the insurance and everything. And I'm not gonna be here this whole time. Do you want maybe to fix it with cash? I don't want to leave you like that, you know? If I'm gonna, listen, I'm be honest with you, if I'm gonna call my agent and like stall the whole insurance thing, I'm not gonna be here, and then your car won't be fixed. I want to help you.
I'm not sure if it works like that though.
What do you mean? You go to and fix it with cash? Like
No. I mean like. Because is your car a rental?
It's not rental. I have insurance, but it's not on my name. That's why I wanna fix it. I wanna help you because I did a mistake, but I'm trying to be realistic over here. I can talk to the people that own the insurance, but
because that's the thing. It's like that's why I would like to get at least some type of insurance information so that.
So I have no idea what's insurance information. I can give you my number and figure it out. And if you want, maybe to fix it with cash, because honestly, I don't think that's more than $100. Like seriously, I can put hot water on it and it will be totally fine. So don't get. I feel you. I know you're anxious right now, and you're like a little bit freaking out. But I'm telling you, I know that you don't know me and have nothing to do with me, but I want to help you.
And I'm just kind of like, so I'm asking her, I'm like, okay, do you have like your license, registration, all those things? Well, I didn't ask her for a license. That was my fault. I didn't think to ask that. I asked her for the registration. No, I asked her for the insurance information, at least. And she's like, oh, the car isn't mine. It's somebody else's car. They let me drive it, and I don't have the insurance. But that's not what she was saying initially. Initially, it was like, oh, I could get my age. Oh, she's not going to be here after next week. It's a whole bunch of things.
See, you're going all over the place. So even if it's not in order, they don't know what order it's in. It don't matter. So you just say the thing, say the other thing, say the other thing.
Right.
Let's try again.
She said that she didn't have insurance papers. It's not her car. She said that she said that she's not going to be here after next week. So if we try to go through insurance, it's not going to get fixed anyway because she's not going to be here. I'm like, this all don't sound right. This sounds a bit weird to me. So, I'm like, so she's asking me like, hey, can I just pay you like $100? It's going to cost $100. Just pour some hot water on it. It'll be all right. I'm like,
wild.
So I know that she is either like lying or just trying to get out the situation, whatever. And she's trying to get me to give her an answer like right now in this moment. And I'm like, can you give me a couple minutes? I have to talk to some people and figure out this whole situation. So I think at that point you had called me back, and then we were having a conversation. She was just like, oh, we'll be in touch. Here's my number. Here's my email. Here's this, here's that. And then she left. So I stayed. I called the police. They took 2-3 hours to show up. So for 2-3 hours, I was sitting in the car, just wondering if they're gonna show up, wondering if what am I gonna do. I was in a rush, kind of like to get things done for the craft fair this weekend, so that just took up the rest of my whole day. And we were supposed to do the podcast. Donovan was very understanding with them not having the thing. At the first place I went to, it was like, oh yeah, whatever you need to get, you can get that. When you come home, we can do the podcast. Now it's 6 o'clock and I'm still waiting for the police to come and do this incident report. So they finally get there. The police the police officer calls the number that was given to me. Oh, well, actually, yeah. Well, calls the number that was given to me. She tells him she don't speak English very well and that she don't own a Range Rover and it wasn't her and blah, blah, blah. So then they come back to me. It was like, she said all these things. And I'm like, I have a video of me talking to the girl, if that helps. And the officer was like, yeah, let me hear the voice. She hears the voice and she's like, okay, yes, it's the same person. I'm like, all right, cool, as long as we're on the same page. That's pretty much what I have. Donovan also spoke to her, so you can go ahead and tell that part.
So right, so I did speak to this young lady, and I spoke to her twice. The first time, actually 3 times. The first time I called her, she said, I'm gonna call you back in 30-40 minutes. She did not. So I called her back, and as soon as I called her, I was just about to call you. I'm like, yeah, okay. So we spoke, which I have recorded, which I said I will put at the end of this video. You can listen to that. It might be between 5 and 20 minutes long. I'm not sure the exact time of it. Stop. What are you doing? I like you was doing it. So during this call, she's doing a lot of manipulative tactics, right? And it's hard for me to put them in words specifically because I've kind of trained myself to pick up on how somebody is trying to make me feel as opposed to what they're saying. So a lot of words can be said, but it's more than just the words that are being said that are communicating to somebody else. So as Melissa said earlier, this girl was talking to me and she's saying, I'm a very nice person. I'm Jewish. I'm religious. I would never do anything wrong. And, I could have been a really bad person. I could have just left. I could have been a really, really bad person, but I'm not. I'm not a bad person. I could have been a bad person. Your girlfriend was in the car for 15 minutes and she just sat there. I could have been a really bad person. So I'm like, okay, the feeling I'm getting is this girl is trying to evoke some emotions from me, right? And in her favor. I don't really know the details of what's happening. So at this point, all I'm going to do is mirror her responses to her. So she's saying that she could be a bad person. I'm saying I could be a bad person too. I'm like, I could also be a bad person and tell Melissa, hey, act like you broke your neck. Try and get as much money as you can. I could call the police on you. We could do a lot of really bad things. And as soon as I said that, she was like, "Oh well, yeah, okay, I get." Because what I got the feeling that she was trying to do was make me feel sympathetic for her hitting us. And then, as Melissa also said, this girl thought she can just pay us $100. That should fix the car. She even said, you know what? I'll give you guys $200 on PayPal right now. And I bet you it won't even be more than $100 with the extra money you get. You guys could just like get breakfast or something like that. Like my treat on me. And I'm just like, nah, like that's not going to work. And as if you guys been here for a while, you remember my crazy neighbor who tried to offer us his PS4 to stay in our house for the Wi-Fi, and then $20 for the Wi-Fi. I think this falls somewhat into the laws of reciprocity, where she will feel like, well, I gave you something, so we should be even now. In his case, he felt like I'm giving you something, so you should give me something, which probably is how she felt too. She felt, if I give you $100 right now, then that means that we should be square. Like you shouldn't even want to take me to court, or you shouldn't even want to use your insurance or anything like that. So she just gave a whole bunch of different reasons as to why she feels like we shouldn't, try and make this a really big situation. And she tried. Here's the thing about her, right? I'm going to move past this in a second. She was giving me the vibe of entitled child, right? Almost, if you think of like a little girl, I don't know about maybe boys too, little Doflamingo, where it's almost as, how can you do this to me? Do you know, like, I am a little white girl. You can't make me feel uncomfortable. That's terrible. Why would you do that? Why would you do anything that makes me feel uncomfortable? You don't hear my voice. You don't hear me crying. You don't hear me saying I'm going to do something. You should automatically just do exactly what I want you to do. And that's the problem with me talking to her, right? Because I immediately was like, okay, again, to me, it's about feeling. What are you trying to make me feel? And is what you're trying to make me feel an accurate representation of what's happening in this interaction? And it's not, because you are 100% in the wrong. And instead of taking accountability for what you're doing or what you did, you're trying to make it seem as if we should be sympathetic for you for causing a problem. That should not be how it should be. Listen, I am 100% at fault, and I don't need the whiny voice either, because that's, like I said, that's part of the manipulation. Just say, hey, listen, I understand I was completely in the wrong for this. Hey, it's not my, she kept lying. She said it was her car. Then she didn't have insurance. Then she said it wasn't her car. It was a guy's car. Then she said it wasn't his car. It's the parents' car. It's just a whole ring around a rosy situation. So honestly, earlier, I think I might have heard some of that phone call with our insurance company. We're going to the mechanic today later to go and get that sorted out. Then we have to drive to New Jersey to pick up some more wax. Then we have obviously the podcast we're shooting right now. I gotta make some phone calls, read over the contract. So that thing, and some cold calling, that thing that happened with her yesterday, set us back a day and a half or a couple hours or whatever. So I'm gonna keep you updated on what happens with that. It was just a lot of weird stuff. Like I said, I don't want to go into too much detail about it, because obviously I'm getting kind of exhausted, and I realize that it's better to end the podcast when I'm still energetic as opposed to when I'm exhausted. So I'll come back to that later if there is any updates on that. But that is it for the episode for life update. On to episode playback. I think even in the last, I would say 15 minutes or so, I was speaking slightly too fast. And that's what I noticed from last week's podcast. And I want to speak, this is something that I feel like, I don't know if anybody else notices it, but they may feel it when they hear it. I want the podcast to be more so about me and not other people, in the sense of, I don't want to tell other people what to do, like on a serious note. Like I might do it jokingly or whatever, but on a serious note, I don't want to tell other people what to do. I'm just, listen, this is what I'm doing. You can ask me how I'm doing it. And I would prefer the podcast to be like a page in a book that you write about yourself. So if you're saying, hey, I need to learn something, this will be, hey, I know Donovan went through A, B, C, D, and E. I'm going to add it to my book because I learned from it. But I'm not doing exactly what he did. I just want to go, okay, why'd you do it like that? Why'd you do it like this? That doesn't really fit for me. I like that, and take pieces of it. But I don't want anybody to do exactly what I'm doing. I just want them to apply it to their life in whichever way they can. That's what I would like. And I think that's best by doing if I just talk about me and how I'm thinking about it, and then you can just interpret it how you want to interpret it. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap it up with that. We will be back here next Tuesday. You can find all the behind the scenes content on our social medias. Mine is DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend AnetaBurn, AnetaBurn. You know what it is? Hashtag Bamboo Project 2022 is going to be a movie. And with that being said, Bamboo Project out.
But I want to go to Mars to someplace or to call someplace because I don't have a car now. I'll try just to fix it with the phone, just to pay him for advance. I'll send him the picture. I'll tell him just the damage to fix it. I know how the way to fix it. It's nothing. I told her, if you want, just put some hot water from the trunk, just push it and take the money for yourself. Like, really.
Okay,
Because
so how much money do you think they're going to charge you to fix the dent in the back?
I don't think that would be more than 100, 150, to be honest with you, because it's actually nothing. If you're gonna be there and stay with the mechanic, it's gonna take him like between 10 to 15 minutes to do it. It's seriously nothing. Thank God, right? Thank God that nothing seriously happened. I was too close to her, and in the moment I a little bit let go of the brakes, and I seriously kissed the car. They're really touched. Thank God for that. But I just want to be a decent person and do what I have to do. And trust me, I can be the worst person right now. Your girlfriend just stood in the light for 15 minutes. I could run away like 1,000 times, and I just stood behind her and told her, pull over, I want to talk to you, pull over. And I told her, I wanna do what I need to do to fix it. And I'm going next week. This number gonna be deleted, and you can never find me. I can be like the worst person in this scenario, but I want to help you guys, okay? I want to do the right thing.
So here's the thing about being the worst person. I could also be a very bad person, and I would like to be a nice person. So my thing would be, you said that your friend is the person whose car that you own. So if you were to run away and not talk and delete the number, then your friend would be on the hook for the car that you rented from them, and you would not want your friend who you trust to say, hey, why would you get into this accident and then leave me here having to deal with it? So that would be a bad thing. So like I said, we both don't want to do that.
Exactly. I just want to make sure that both of us trying to want to like go in the best road that we can. Because some people cannot be the nicest people when it comes to that situation. You know what I mean, I think.
Right, I know. Like I said, I can be the not nicest person too. I know everybody in a situation could both be
I'm just saying,
bad.
I want to be the most honest and decent with you guys, so please just be the same for me, okay?
Well, my thing is this. I would like the car to be repaired, and that would be the nicest thing to me. If in any situation, and if since you work in the insurance company, you know that if you rear end a car, that the onus will always be on you, because they will say that you were supposed to be further back from the car parked in front of you.
I know that.
Right.
I know that.
Right. So you're saying, but this is my thing. Right. But you were saying earlier that she was sitting at the light for 15 minutes as if it was her fault that you hit her. That it had nothing to do with her. If she went to sit there for 3 hours, she has no onus in you hitting her.
I'm not saying that in any case scenario that was her fault.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying she didn't took a picture of my car. She didn't took a picture of the damage. She just stood there, okay? And I could be a bad person in that moment, but I didn't want it to. She took a picture of my car and the license plate just after we pull over, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if she have a camera, a dash camera, so the dash camera cannot even picture my car because I was behind her. So I'm just saying, I want to do the right thing. I'm just like, let's meet in the middle, okay? Insurance, it's not going to be any insurance thing. I want to go tomorrow, call someone close to you guys, and I will pay him for advance, and you just go fix your car. and I'll go back home with a quiet heart and a quiet mind, and you guys will be all set. What do you think about that?
So I think it would be, I prefer to take it to my guy to see what he says, and then if you would like to have your guy look at it as well, then we can see what they come to as a price, and then go from there. Does that sound fair enough?
Listen, I have the best guy over here, okay? He can do prices for me. So, like, this is just someone that my family from here knows him. But it's not, I'm not trying, like, it's a mechanic, because, like, every mechanic doing, like, the same job. It's not, like, a huge accident, but the smallest thing. Anyone can fix it, okay? So, listen, I'm coming back in a week. I've been here for a long time. I've been in the army in Israel. I'm short on cash, but I want to help you guys. I want to be decent. So I don't want to spend a lot of money on it because, honestly, it doesn't worth a lot of money, okay?
What did the owner of the car say when you told them what happened?
I told them what I told her. She sounded like she's fine with it. And I took a picture of a car, and I showed him the damage. It was like, he said for himself, it's like, if that's the damage, it's like just to talk to the insurance company and to do all this process with that kind of damage, it's just, doesn't make a lot of sense to him too.
Right, I agree that if, like I said, I think that it would not be expensive. I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be close to $100 for it. So that's why I was curious if you would rather want to pay for it, if you would prefer him to pay for it, since it's his car.
I'm gonna pay for it because it's my fault. I'm not gonna let anyone else pay for that, obviously. I'm just saying that if you can just I just want to go to that person because I know him already and he knows me, and this is such a small damage. And if I could just go to some random mechanic, he'll probably charge me higher price. And I'm telling you like the truth right now. I came here just to do a trip after the army. I am low on cash. I'm coming back next week. That's it. No more money left. This is like the worst nightmare happened to me today. Okay? I really want to fix it. Just let me see where it's the best person for me that can do it for me. Okay? Because I know someone that is also Jewish and from Israel and making me a discount because I was in the army. Okay?
My thing is, I don't know the people that you'll be working with, so it's harder for me to. I'd have to.
You're gonna go there. You're gonna meet them, obviously, because you need to put your car there. So before I'm gonna pay him and everything, I'll call you and you can talk to him and he will tell you what he thinks and you will tell me what you think. I'm not gonna pay him and close anything until I got your approval.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it to my mechanic probably tomorrow. And then when I bring it to him tomorrow, then I'll let you call your mechanic and I'll bring it to him and see what he says. And if it lines up with what my mechanic says and he wants to pay for it, or you want to pay for it, then that would work fine.
So, you want to check if, the prices are the same? I didn't got it.
Yes, I want to check if the prices are the same. And I also want to check what damages were done from that incident. Because I don't know, they might say that the bumper might have been bent. All I see from the picture, I haven't seen the car yet. It hasn't come back. All I know is that the dent is in the door of the car, the rear door. That's the only thing I know.
So I was with her, and I told her everything okay with the car. She tried to open the door, open. I just told her I gave her an example. You just open the door of the truck, you put some hot water, and then from the other side just push it. I told her I will give you money, go buy clothes. I mean, for real. This is the smallest thing ever. I mean, I feel bad even to pay for a mechanic for that. Me and my friends in Israel always people used to do it to our hearts while we were parking. And people in Israel are not that nice. They just hit and run. So I used to fix all of those things by myself. I'm not paying anyone for doing those easy things. But obviously, if it's a bigger damage, of course. But I'm telling you, there isn't. And I please try to meet me in the middle here. I'm really, really down on cash. I'm real low on cash. So, I'm trying to do my best over here.
Yes, I understand that, and we are also not rolling in money, so that's why it would be better.
No, I don't want you guys to pay even a penny for it. Really,
Well, my thing is more so about the car actually being repaired and being back to the way it was before the incident. That's the only thing that I really care about, and I don't want to have to come out of pocket for that. So if we can find a middle ground where that is paid for without anybody having to deal with any insurance, because I know that if I have to go through insurance, it will take longer. I don't know what that process will be like for you guys, and because you are not the one who was on the insurance, that means that whoever owns the car will have the problem, and then I don't know what that'll do to you guys' relationship because you are the one that actually got into the accident. So I would prefer to go around all of that if I can. However, if something comes up where I cannot do that, then I will have to go through the insurance company. So like I said, I'm gonna take it to my mechanic tomorrow to see what he says about it, and then you say you're gonna call your mechanic. Once you talk to him, then I'll go over there, take the car to him. If he wants to fix it for a similar price, or if it's close to it and you're gonna pay for it, that's fine with me.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that if like sometimes people just try not to be like the nicest, and if they have like other problems, they're like, okay, I want to hit my car, so I have this and this and this and this, so just let's like fix my whole car because someone just hit me a little bit from behind. You know, there's people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. I want to fix what I did, just so my conscience will be clear and I will be cool with you guys. But please just don't rip me off.
Right, because I feel the same way. I would not want you to rip me off, because also what people will do is they will have you go to their mechanic who will only fix it who will only try and repair it in a very cheap way, and then the car is actually not repaired. And that's what I don't want to happen. So I'm not saying that you would do something like that, but there are bad people out there who do things like that. So that's why I have to make sure, because you're leaving in a week. I want to make sure that everybody is settled square, so that when you go on your way, you're happy. When we leave, the car is fixed and we're happy.
Exactly. That's exactly why. Well, listen, I'm Jewish. I'm super religious, and like, there's no way I'm gonna do it, because my belief, if I'm gonna do it to someone, something really bad gonna happen to me. You know, this is what we believe at. We can't do those kind of things, because if we're just gonna do something bad to other, something bad will happen to us eventually, because we're not doing the right thing right now. So I would never do this to you guys. Never. So you can trust me. I hope I can trust you guys, and I hope we're on the same page. Well, today is already almost over, so you're gonna call me tomorrow. Let me know, and let me know what your mechanic says first, and then let me call my mechanic. Okay? Just text me like, what did you say? Like, I don't know like how to explain it exactly to a mechanic. I just have the picture. If they just can explain it by words, and I can text my mechanic, and we'll see what we can do with that. And I hope it's not such a big damage. Really, I'm praying.
Yeah, me too. I hope so.
Okay.
So yeah, that sounds good. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you too, Gary. I really appreciate that you understand me.
I appreciate you too.
Yeah, thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
And say hi to your girlfriend.
I will.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.